Hello and happy holidays from Oklahoma on Stage. We're glad you've joined us. In case you're wondering, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And our website is oklahomaonstage.org. We hope you enjoy the podcast, and if you do, please share it with someone. And now, wrap up in a cozy blanket, curl up with something warm to drink, and get ready for another great episode.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
What do you get when you cross the world's greatest detective with the most iconic ghost story of all time? A mystery wrapped in tinsel and tied with a Victorian bow. Welcome back to Oklahoma on Stage, where today we're stepping into the foggy streets of Victorian London by way of Muskogee, Oklahoma, for a holiday whodunit like no other. A Sherlock Carol is a part classic mystery, part Christmas redemption tale, and all theatrical magic. I got to sit down with part of the principal cast and director of Muskogee Little Theatre's production to uncover how they brought this clever crossover to life, from Scrooge's haunted past to Holmes's relentless pursuit of the truth. This show is a festive fusion of two literary legends. So light the gas lamps, pour yourself a cup of something warm, and prepare to sleuth your way into the holiday spirit. The game's afoot, and the ghosts are waiting. I am sitting with...
Tawny Moore.
And Tawny, what do you do with the show?
I am the director.
You are the director.
Yes.
How long have you been a director at Muskogee Little Theatre?
So this is actually my first foray into directing as the, head honcho, if you will, of the show. I did last year, I co-directed or assistant directed The Outsiders. Yes, it was wonderful. Wonderful. So this is my first, take the helm, run with it. Yeah.
And what made you want to do that?
So I've been doing theater for about 22 years now. I started when I was, probably 11 years old, 12 years old, around that. I've done pretty much everything that you could. I've costumed, I've acted, I've worked backstage, I've ran flies, done all of that. I've helped in the light booth, and I've wanted to direct for a while. I'm pretty passionate about theater. I have been for a long time, and I've just wanted to. The longer I did theater, the more I noticed that, hey, I have ideas about how, things can move, staging, helping people with accents and movement and things like that. So it's something that I've wanted to do for a while now. So I'm really excited.
Very cool. So, Sherlock Carol?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Sherlock Carol.
Where did that show come from?
So, to my knowledge, we have looked at it a few times. Every year we have a play selection committee that gets together and looks for these shows. And we pretty much every year, Muskogee Little Theatre does a Christmas theme, a Christmas show around this time of year. And if you've ever done anything like that as far as play selection goes, you know that there's kind of a limited number of good Christmas plays or Christmas musicals. And we found a Sherlock Carol. I believe it was read last year or 2 years ago, wasn't chosen in this last year. We read it and thought, this is a really fun. It's just a good, light-hearted take on two classic stories and just gives it a little something different, something fun. So that way it was the one that we went with, and I was super excited to direct it because I love A Christmas Carol. I love a good Dickens tale. And I love Sherlock. I have always loved Sherlock. In my house, I have, we converted my dining room into a library because we don't use a formal dining room, but I have, multiple copies of Sherlock stories. And so it really resonated with me, and something that I enjoy, I was passionate about, that I thought I have a lot of history with both of these. And so that's kind of how it came to be.
Very nice. So for those out there that don't know anything about a Sherlock Carol, can you give us kind of a sneak peek into what the story is?
So the best, without giving anything away, because it is at its heart a murder mystery. And of course, there's a little bit of a twist at the end because it is Sherlock. So essentially, Moriarty has died. I know, devastating. Well, not devastating to Sherlock, but a little bit. We all know the classic, they both went over the Reichenbach Falls. Moriarty died. And Sherlock is having a little bit of an identity crisis, for lack of a better term.
What do you do now? He's like,
I know. What do I do when my nemesis is gone? He's no longer there. What's my purpose?
Right.
And he runs into Tiny Timothy Cratchit, Dr. Cratchit for the sake of this show. And we find out that Scrooge has died.
Dun, dun, dun.
But it's a little mysterious.
Okay.
And we're not sure if did he die of natural causes or was he murdered? And the general consensus is that he was murdered. So we get to follow Sherlock in trying to solve the murder of Dr. Cratchit. And you run into, the classic Dickens characters. You have Ralph Fezziwig. You have Abigail Fezziwig. You have Henry Burke, the candle maker. So you see throughout the show kind of how Scrooge touched a lot more people when he became good and when he had his life-changing experience with the ghost. And we get to see a little bit of Scrooge, too. So it's a really neat joining of these two stories and kind of getting to see what happened after A Christmas Carol. And then you throw in Sherlock.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you hope that people will take away from this show?
My hope of what people will take away from this show is really similar to what you hope people take away from A Christmas Carol. It's that you're never too old to change. You're never too old to be better and to do more, to do better. The Christmas season can be hard for a lot of people, holiday season. And this show, it's very light, it's very funny. It has these great heartfelt moments. But at its core, it's these people that are struggling, whether that's with, providing food on the table for their family at Christmas and things like that. So it really is almost a retelling of A Christmas Carol, but you put Sherlock into Scrooge's position. And so you see Sherlock kind of go through this life-changing experience and learning that these little acts of kindness make a really big deal and make an impact. And how, either hurtful words or kind words can change the trajectory of someone's life. So for me, that is the big takeaway, that you can change at any point. It's never too late to look back on what you've done and make a decision to do something different. So
very nice.
Yeah.
So deciding to direct a show at the holidays, what is the importance of that to you?
To me, the importance is, it's really what makes theater important at its core. I think any good play is a mirror to the audience, and that they should see a little bit of themselves in the characters. And at the holidays, it's most important to have this mirror of why family is important, why friends are important. And not just that, but also you want a little bit of an escape from reality at the holidays. It's this time of year where you're, if you're a parent or you have loved ones that you're going, oh, I need all of these Christmas presents. I need to do X, Y, Z. My schedule is crazy. I've got all of these holiday get-togethers. But when you step into the theater, you have a moment to sit, and you have a moment to watch, and you have a moment to take all take in a little bit of Christmas magic. And so for me, Christmas shows are so important because it gives you that opportunity as an audience member. And even as a director, there are times that I sit out in the audience and go, oh, wow, I really needed that today.
Nice.
I needed that little bit of Christmas spirit, that Christmas magic, just to kind of get through the chaos of life. So I think it's important to do these shows around Christmas time to just be a reminder to people.
Excellent. Tony, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
All right.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is Stephen Lambie.
Stephen, what is your relation to this show?
I am playing the role of Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
So, in case, people out there don't get this, you're not really from here, are you?
No, if you can't tell from the accent. I'm originally from Arkansas, if you can tell. No, I originally grew up in Scotland. I've been in America for about 13, 14 years now, and been in Oklahoma, and Tulsa has been my home since 2016.
Nice.
So, yeah.
What brought you to Oklahoma?
Well, I'm my wife. I got married. Met a lovely Okie when I was working at a summer camp in New York back in 2011. Dated long distance for about 4 or 5 years, back and forth, constantly working over here, traveling back to Scotland, visiting. Did it for a long time, and then we got engaged in 2015, got married in Oklahoma in 2016, and I've just been here ever since.
What do you think?
I people ask me all the time. I love Oklahoma. I didn't grow up here, so it's new. Every day feels like it's new to me. Like I still love country music. I feel like a lot of people that grow up here, they hate country music just because that's all they grew up with. Whereas I'm loving it. I love the culture. It's so different. Like I said, every day is kind of different for me, but the people are just so friendly. And I'm not saying that back home in Scotland the people aren't friendly. I miss it dearly every day. Like all my family's back there, but I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful 11-month-old daughter now, who I absolutely adore. And my family just love her. And we went back to Scotland in July, took her over there, and I wish it was easier to travel back and forth, but it's not. Yeah. So, I love Oklahoma. I love Tulsa. I have a good job here. I've met some great people and some great friends, and like I said, just every day feels like it's a new day for me.
Very cool, very cool. So, how long have you been involved in theater?
My first theatre show would have been back in 2006 or 7, I believe. I would have been 15 or 16. I did South Pacific in a small theatre in Scotland, just an ensemble actor part. It was my first musical. I was doing plays and little pieces at high school, but nothing had really sort of drawn me to it as well as doing a musical. I didn't realise what a real musical was. I'd only ever really done straight plays and comedies, and then you see a musical and you're like, oh wow, there's music. It's not just start and stop, act 1, act 2. It's like there's music that kind of break everything up and tell a story, and I loved that.
Are you singing?
And singing and dancing, and I did South Pacific, and I realised I can act. I'm not a great singer, but I can act. And then ever since then, I've just kind of delved sort of into acting and singing and doing musical all throughout Scotland, and then over here in America, and then doing theatre as well. So yeah, 2006 up until 2025.
Have you been acting as long as you've been in Oklahoma?
Yeah, well, I moved out when I got here in 2016. I think it was 2017 was the first year I actually picked up a play. I auditioned for one. I did Avenue Q with Tulsa Project Theatre at the Theatre Tulsa's place downtown at the PAC. And that was my first time doing an American show, and I loved it. It was a great role for me. I got to play with a puppet, as I was the bad idea bear, and I also was the left arm of one of the other puppets and understudy. So it was great for me. I'd never done anything like that before. It was a paid gig as well. I'd never been paid for this. This was a hobby.
Yeah,
and I was now getting paid.
I know, right?
It wasn't a lot of money, but I got paid for it, and it was like, ooh,
there's value.
This is fun.
Yeah,
I like this. And I had a great time doing it. And then from there, I kind of moved into Theatre Tulsa, working up at the PAC. Did Newsies, did Barnum, which is a circus show, which my background is circus acrobatics. So that was a great sort of show for me. And it came out right at the same time as The Greatest Showman was going on, so it was everyone just loved that. And then I actually auditioned for a show up at the Hard Rock. It was called Nanyehi, which was a Native American play, musical that was getting put on there, and they needed some extra guys, fight choreography and some stunt people. So I auditioned for that, got in there, met some people from Muskogee, and they told me they do plays down here, and I like challenges, I like new things, and I met a couple of the people there, and they said, why don't you come down and audition for one of our shows? And I did. And that was 2018, and I'm still here. I'm still in Muskogee doing shows.
So you're just doing? Are you just doing shows here?
Yes, yeah. Haven't done. I mean, I still go back and forth with the Nanyehi show. They do that every couple of years. But I haven't done another Theatre Tulsa show. Nothing against Theatre Tulsa. I haven't done a show there, but I have primarily done Muskogee shows since coming down and meeting the people, and just sort of ingraining myself within this community.
Nice.
I love how close knit it is, and it's good. Just Muskogee, it's not a huge town like Tulsa. The people know each other. It's just a beautiful theatre to be a part of, and a beautiful group of people to work with every day.
Nice. So, a Sherlock Carol.
Yes.
What made you want to audition for this show?
We all grew up with our version of A Christmas Carol. My version was A Muppets Christmas Carol with Michael Caine, and that was kind of the thing that really got me into that show. I didn't see the originals, I didn't see the Dickens, I saw the Muppets one, and I loved it. And I was like, oh, that'd be a great show. And my wife, for the past 3 or 4 years, has been choreographing A Christmas Carol at the PAC downtown.
Okay.
So every year she does that. I'm not able to. I never want to do the. Not saying I don't want to do the show with her, but that's her baby. I don't want to get a part of it. Plus, we have dogs. We now have a baby, so it was like we can't split our times between it. She's doing that, but I haven't done a show since 2023 aroundish. So it's been, since we had my daughter, and I was itching to get back into it. And I love Sherlock Holmes. Not just the Benedict Cumberbatch or the Robert Downey Jr. version, but again, I grew up back in Scotland, and Sherlock Holmes is very mainstream British media.
Sure.
So seeing any of their movies or TV productions, I've always loved that character. The character is not just a detective who solves mysteries. He sees the worst in the world, and he lives with that every day. And everyone goes around, especially at Christmas time, everyone's like, oh, it's a great time, it's Christmas, everyone is loving it. And he's like, I see how terrible the world is. And that is what kind of drew me to the character. It's kind of what drew me. It's more complex than just, I'm going to go and solve a mystery. It's what drives Sherlock, especially because, it says it on the book, it says it at the beginning, Moriarty is dead to begin with. So his greatest nemesis has died.
Yeah.
The fall at Reichenbach has already happened, so then what is next for Sherlock Holmes? And that kind of was like, okay, let's see what we can do with this.
Yeah. Everybody would want to know, what would he do next?
Yeah, he doesn't have his, and it says it's his greatest nemesis, but to Sherlock, Moriarty was more of a, and I don't like using the word friend, but he was the opposite. Without Moriarty, who is Sherlock Holmes. So to try and dive into that character and be like, okay, so he's gone. What's next for Sherlock? And again, it was just like, I want to see what we can do with this.
So playing this role, one of the most iconic roles in the history of art.
Yeah, I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah, no pressure. What does, not even taking the Christmas part of it aside, what does that do for your preparation as an actor to play something that everybody's going to come in with expectations of seeing a certain thing from Sherlock Holmes?
I like to change people's perspective on things. I mean, like you're saying, we all have an idea of what our Sherlock Holmes is. Some people grew up with the Benedict Cumberbatch, one of the most popular icons of that role. Some people grew up with the Robert Downey Jr. movies, and then even before then, some people grew up with the earlier novels. So my idea is not to just be a copycat, and not just to take yes, you can. There's ideas to take from little pieces of the media that's out there. But my thing is, Sherlock is so much more complex than just what you see on the TV and just what you see. I want to bring something different to it. I want to bring the horrors that he has seen from earlier in the show that you have not seen. Like, he's just came back from the fall of Reichenbach. He's just came back from the death of Moriarty. He's been missing this whole time, and now all of a sudden there's another mystery, and the only person that can solve this is Sherlock. So how do we get there? It's not just all of a sudden he's immediately fixed and he wants to figure this out. It takes time. He has his own demons. He is obsessed with Moriarty and seeing these ghosts, but he doesn't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
So what is he seeing?
Very cool. That's very cool. Okay, so this show, again, talking about, it's a very iconic, not only the iconic role, but also the iconic story.
Yes.
Putting the two together, what has that meant to you?
Like I said, we all grew up with A Christmas Carol. We all grew up with our version of it, and just being able to be a part of it from a different perspective. Because again, this is years after Scrooge has already had his redemption. He's a changed man. He's lived the last 10, 15 years being this better person. So it's seeing that from that different point of view and understanding, and again, for me, it's mostly just taking that and I put my own spin on it, and it's been great because I have always wanted to be a part of A Christmas Carol, and especially like with my wife being a part of it downtown, I do want to be a part of the original story, the Dickens story, but to do it differently, to do a murder mystery, dark comedy style as Sherlock Holmes. I'm so excited for it.
You're like a kid at Christmas.
I didn't realize how much I miss, and I'm sure every person who's ever been on stage will be able to attest to this. Like, you don't realize how much you miss it until you take a step away from it. And by all means, I've loved every moment being with my daughter, seeing her grow and being more in depth with my family. But being on stage is just a little different. And you can't compare. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. And I'm sure fathers and mothers out there will be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's saying this." But you cannot compare the two. I have missed it so much, and I'm excited to be part. And working with the cast and working with the crew. Some people I've worked with before, and some people I've never worked with. And I get to see how much time and effort they're putting in, and how much they are taking ownership of their character. Again, these are characters that we might know of from the Dickens story and from a Sherlock story, but seeing how they are creating their own spin on it and seeing how they are bringing the characters to life in front of me it's amazing to see. And there's twists, there's turns, there's Easter eggs throughout the entire show, there's little gimmies here, and then at the end you realize, and you're like, oh my goodness, that was staring my face the whole time. That's what I just love about it. And I can't wait every night to see the eyes of the audience go, oh, that's what this is. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's who that is. I love that. And that's what's making me really happy for it.
So 11-month-old girl?
Yes.
So this is going to be her first Christmas?
She was here last Christmas, but she was a week old.
Yeah.
She was born on the 17th of December. So she was just a week old when we had Christmas. So this is going to be her first Christmas officially that she'll remember.
So how is that changing everything you're doing as a dad?
Every day is new. It's beautiful. It's challenging. I wake again. It's just like waking up in a new country every day for me. I wake up every day, and the first thing I do is I make sure I just want to see her. Like, I'm so excited to see her every morning and wake her up, and my wife's like, let her sleep. Like, do not wake her up.
Right.
But I'm loving seeing her grow and develop, and she has her own personality now. And I'm really excited. Her family will spoil her for Christmas. We will spoil her for Christmas, but her cousins and her aunts and uncles, everyone that's here in Oklahoma and Tulsa, and even back home in Scotland, like, they are just so ready to spoil this new little baby.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That is awesome.
I can honestly tell you, I never thought I would ever be that person. People that have known me, that are listening to this, or people that have known me my whole life will say, "Oh, he never wanted children." I now I have one. I cannot imagine my life without her. She is just the best little thing in the world, and my wife is doing amazing with it as well. I've loved seeing her grow. I've loved seeing my daughter grow, and they tell me all the time they love seeing how I've changed. I don't see it. I just still feel like I'm the same.
Yeah.
Any person out there that is having children or is nervous about having kids, like they'll tell you the same thing. It's different when it's yours.
Oh, absolutely.
It's different when it's yours. And I was the one that sat back and went, "Oh, I'm sure it is," but it truly is.
And it changes when you have grandkids too.
Hey, I'm nowhere near that. Let me get the 11-month-old out of the way first.
Right. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of this. Appreciate it. Best of luck with the show.
Yes, I'm excited.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone listening, and I do hope they come and see the show and enjoy it.
Very good.
This is John Lindsay.
And John, what is your connection with Sherlock Carol?
Well, in A Sherlock Carol, I play Ebenezer Scrooge. You may have heard of him.
He is someone that I kind of remember, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot different. You know? This story is like almost a sequel to A Christmas Carol. You know, so you can just imagine what it would be like to see what happens to Scrooge the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or the weeks and the months and the years to follow his transformation. And this play gives you a little insight into what happens.
Well, I hope it doesn't follow the normal statistics that sequels usually aren't that good. So I'm hoping that this one is a little bit better than that. From what I'm hearing, it sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here at Muskogee Little Theatre?
Gosh, our family moved here in 2010, so about 15 years. And folks that are here that kind of know our family know that I'm just kind of riding the curtails of my wife. She's got the talent in the family. My kids are very talented. And so I figured out, if we want to spend time together and theater is your thing, then I'm on board. Let's do this. I did a few things in high school, but, since then, no. And I'm well into my 50s now. And so 2019 is when my wife and I did one of our first productions together. And it was Mamma Mia. And she played the lead, Donna, and I was one of the dads, Bill.
Okay.
And so from that point, folks in theater, obviously, you catch the bug.
Yep.
And so that's what has happened to us here in Muskogee. We've been involved pretty much every year since.
Okay, so A Sherlock Carol, obviously something a little different. What sparked you to say, hey, I'm going to give that a shot?
Yeah, well, once again, my wife said, I want to give that a shot. And so she did. And so I followed with it. I said, okay, let's do this. We've got the time in our schedules. We can do that. But it was definitely interesting. You never would have heard of a Sherlock Carol, a Sherlock Christmas Carol. So it's a mashup between a Sherlock Holmes mystery and the Dickens story, The Christmas Carol. And there's some years removed in those writings of those two stories, but we are able to see both of these characters living about the same time.
Okay. So you're playing a very iconic role in this show, in a very iconic show, but as you said, a little bit different. How did you approach Ebenezer Scrooge in this different mindset?
Yeah, in some of my research, I just had to go back to some of those old Christmas Carol movies back from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Alistair Sim, one of the most classic roles. And so I just fast forwarded to the end. And when Scrooge has his transformation, what joy his voice carries, and his actions, are just so different from the bah humbug character. And it's a gentler, it's a kinder, it's a more loving personality that we get to see.
Yeah.
And, I'm a mental health therapist in my career. And so I get to listen a lot and be, present with people and be more gentle in nature. And I really adhered to that part of this story, how Scrooge is more gentle and kinder. He's lived it. He's been there, and he's been transformed. And I love that for people.
So in this show, again, talking about transformation, obviously Scrooge helps Sherlock with his transformation.
Yes.
What does, whether the Christmas Carol or this version, what does this show mean to you?
Oh, yes, it means reclamation. That's one of the lines that Scrooge has. I'm here for your reclamation. I know what it's like. You are now as I once was, is what Scrooge says to Sherlock. And he doesn't want to see him stay there, in the Christmas Carol. I will keep Christmas all the year. And he wants that for everybody. And Sherlock, obviously, in this story, is going through a tough time. He's become a Scrooge. And Scrooge wants to save him from Marley's fate, with wearing those chains, that bind people in life. We don't need that. We need to be unfettered. And the Christmas season is a time of joy and of giving. And so it's just out of the goodness of Scrooge's heart, he wants to extend that opportunity to Scrooge, or to Sherlock.
Okay. So a lot of people tend to try to, make some connection when they're preparing for a role. Do you feel a kindredness, a connection with Ebenezer Scrooge?
Not at all.
Good.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But boy, I do love that transformation once he has gone through the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and especially the Grim Reaper type ghost of Christmas future. It's time for a change.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate seeing that part. And when you're extended grace, when you've been helped by somebody, then it's just natural for you to turn that around and help somebody else.
So you mentioned that your wife is in the show.
Yeah.
Are your kids involved with it as well?
Boy, they have been. We're empty nesters now. Matter of fact, my daughter today is living in Tulsa and just finished being a part of the cast of Rent.
Okay.
Yes, they did it at the Tulsa PAC this weekend.
Okay.
And we saw her twice yesterday. So, all of our kids have been in theater, have gone through that. And the daughter that I just mentioned, she is also heavily involved in the lighting and the technical side of theater, which a lot of people, you just see the cast. But boy, as you know, there's so many behind the scenes. And to make a story impactful, it's the lighting.
Absolutely.
It's the set, it's the sound, it's the whole experience.
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of our kids.
Good.
They've been able to get that entire, this is a team, this is a family, and nobody is any more important than the other.
Yeah.
Backstage, on stage, in the lobby,
Good.
selling drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes us all.
So, show like this, Christmas Carol, which again is one of everybody's favorites, but now adding a twist to it. How is this? Are you taking anything away from this for your Christmas?
I'll tell you, I've dedicated this performance to my oldest sister, Carol, and she is 11 years older than I am and has epilepsy, and so she's disabled in some ways, but the heart is gold as gold can be, and I dedicate this show to her. Her favorite Christmas story and movie is A Christmas Carol, and so I want to dedicate that to her this Christmas.
Very cool. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much. Best of luck with this show. Best of luck with Ebenezer Scrooge, and I look forward to hearing all of the great reviews. I hope we can make it out to see it. Because again, it sounds so different than what you're normally used to. So, thank you again, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for having us on.
Aaron Williard.
Aaron, what is your connection to the show?
I play Dr. Timothy Cratchit.
You're the young Tim. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about it is that in part of the original Christmas story, Tim dies. That's not the finish, of course, but so obviously he goes on to do much bigger and better things, which we love. So, talking about you, how long have you been with Muskogee Little Theater?
I think I started in 2019 for my first show.
Okay.
I just decided one day I should try out for theater, and I did, and here I am now, 11 shows later, and I love it, and it's a huge part of my life now.
Cool. So, are you from Muskogee?
Pretty much since I was born in Pryor and bounced around a few places, but I lived in Muskogee since I was 5.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, you said you've been doing it since 2019. What's some notable shows that you've been a part of?
I worked in Murder in the Orient Express.
One of my favorites.
I was the guy that dies. I had to spend most of the second act pretending to be dead,
Mhm.
which was pretty gruff, actually.
Yeah.
Trying not to breathe a lot or move any, but I worked on Clue. Elf. I did Nanyehi, the story about the Cherokees that they do at the Hard Rock Casino. A lot of good shows.
Okay. So, shifting into Sherlock Carol, what sparked you to audition for this show?
I thought it was a really interesting concept because as a theater watcher and even doing some, you get tired of seeing the same Christmas story, White Christmas, Christmas Carol, and I thought that this was a really unique idea to mix these two properties of A Christmas Carol and Sherlock, and almost like a sequel to A Christmas Carol. I mean, who, like you said, I mean, Tiny Tim was dead in some versions, but who would have thought there'd be a sequel to A Christmas Carol?
Absolutely.
So I thought it was a really unique take on things.
Okay. So you auditioned for the show. You got Tim Cratchit.
Yep.
So there's obviously some differences between the two different versions. So how did you approach playing this role that hadn't even been created to this point?
I really had to really dig into the actual meat of this show. Since, like you said, there's not much to go on based on the old things. So I had to really try to put this Tiny Tim in what is going on in this, and really try to picture what he's going through with Scrooge and stuff like that, and the emotions that he's experiencing, and just kind of build it up myself without having much else to go on, of just this little boy that was in a previous show.
Okay. So one of the most iconic stories ever.
Yeah.
Then added in one of the most iconic characters ever with a little bit of a twist. What is this show, in its essence, what does it mean to you?
I think this show has a lot of themes, overarching things of personal growth and change, which is also like A Christmas Carol. I mean, that is it, and they've managed to take this unique concept of mixing these two stories and still have that theme of growth and change, and how you react to things in life, and you can either let it affect you negatively or positively, and try to have a different outcome than the negative one.
Okay. What do you hope that people take away from this show?
I hope that they have a good amount of Christmas spirit thrown in with a good show that has a good message that can make you stop and think a little bit about how you approach life and things that you do and how you handle things, and then, like I said, but still walk out feeling Christmas cheery.
Excellent. So I know a lot of people, a lot of actors, actresses, when they're playing a role, they try to find some way to connect with that character. Is there something that they bind with or whatever? Is there anything about Tim Cratchit that you connect with?
Well, being only 5'3", I have been short all my life, and I've endured all the short jokes you can get and stuff like that. So obviously when I got the role of Tiny Tim, everyone, and I'm not sensitive about it, but so everyone that knows me is like, oh, what a stretch! Aaron's playing Tiny Tim. It's the role he was born to play. So I guess the height would be something like, yeah, I'm just a little guy that's always been little, and I grew up, and I'm still a little short guy, and there's some subtle things in the show that we do that does play on my height. So I guess that would be kind of how I connect to Tiny Tim.
Awesome. So, all right. Well, thank you, Aaron, for your time. I appreciate it. Best of luck with the show. It sounds great. Sounds like you've got a role tailored for you, not just in the height, but it sounds like you're already there with it. So, want to thank you and wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
So there you have it from some of the cast, characters, and the director of Muskogee Little Theatre's production of A Sherlock Christmas Carol. The show is playing December 5th, 6th, and 7th, as well as 11th, 12th, and 13th at the Muskogee Little Theatre in, of course, Muskogee, Oklahoma. You can get tickets there by going to their website at www.muscogeelittletheatre.com. Or if that doesn't work, online means don't work, you can call their box office at 918-683-5332 or their email muscogeelittletheatre@gmail.com. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for giving us time to be a part of your life. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you walking through the holidays with us. We hope that you enjoy your holidays and try to get out and see one of these shows. But no matter what you do, continue to support the arts.